go from there. So, all right, awesome. So, welcome, guys. I have an amazing guest. His name is Austin Fuerst. You might know him as Everyday T1D on Instagram, and actually, that's how I met him. So, welcome to the Type 1 podcast, Austin.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be on.
Yeah, it's actually the first time we've actually connected, like talking not face to face, but like computer
yeah.
instead of like on like Instagram or anything like that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So I would love to. Yeah, I would love to let people know about your like pretty much how you got diagnosed and throughout like the time of you got diagnosed, like how your parents handled it and everything like that. So. Take it away.
So I was diagnosed when I was 2. So I was really little. And the short version of the story is I kept peeing in my bed because obviously urination is a symptom of high blood sugar and diabetes. And my parents thought I was just kind of being a brat. I kept asking for more milk, because that was my favorite drink at the time. And they're just like, what is this kid's deal? Like, why is he all want all this stuff? Why is he peeing? Like, and they thought I was just like being a turd. But it turned happening, kept persisting. And so my dad, his side of the family is filled with diabetes. I have 3 uncles with all type 1 and 5 cousins with type 1.
Wow.
And so I don't know why it didn't click in his head earlier, but eventually they took me to the doctor and they're like, hey, this kid has diabetes. You should probably take him to the hospital. And I think my blood sugar was like 640 or something like that. And then an era began, and I was born with diabetes, I guess. But so that's kind of how I was diagnosed. I don't remember most of it because I was obviously a baby. But I will never let my parents live down the fact that they thought I was a brat. But man, my parents have done an awesome job just taking care of me and teaching me how to be independent with my diabetes. I gave myself my first shot when I was 4. I grew up. I learned how to draw and count carbs, and count carbs when I was 5. And ever since then, I've been kind of doing my own thing. And I think that really helped me not be like dependent on them to take care of me. You know, so like when I was in middle school and high school, I was doing my own thing. Sometimes that wasn't the greatest idea. But I don't know, I made it.
Yeah. So when you were a teenager, did you have like the times that like, oh, like I don't want to be diabetic anymore, so like I don't want to take insulin anymore, or like get the burnout or whatnot?
Yeah, I definitely did. I think like 7th and 8th grade was the hardest for me, because like I was going through puberty, and you're at that age where you're trying to figure yourself out, and you're like, what am I? Like, who am I? Like, and I just wanted to be normal. You know, I didn't want to stick out. I didn't want to have to like not do anything because of my diabetes. And so because of that, I was like, maybe if I just stop like taking care of myself and pretending I have diabetes or pretending that I'm fine, then I won't have to do any of that and I'll be normal. And like during that time, I would lie to my parents about my blood sugars. I'd be like, oh, what's your blood sugar? And I'd be like, I'm 116. Be like, oh, that's great. Did you give yourself your insulin? I'm like, yeah, of course I did. Why would I not? And so it was a really rough phase. And eventually I went to the endo to get my appointment and my A1C and all that. And my A1C was like 12. And like they looked at my logbook, what I'd written down, what my parents wrote down, and at A1C, and they're like, well, someone's lying, and I don't think it's your parents. And so like that was a big wake-up call, and they kind of explained to me what happens when you don't take care of yourself. And I obviously wanted to live the best life I could. And so I figured, why not just start taking care of myself and not have to worry about the consequences.
Yeah. So for me, I got diagnosed at like my 34th birthday, like the 30 right before my 35th birthday. So I don't have the during puberty or anything like that. So the only way I found out was my pre-employment screening to the hospital I used to work at, like probably like 4 or 5 years ago. So, and it was shocking because there's nobody in my family.
Wow.
Yeah, there's nobody in my family that has diabetes. And when I went to this, the pre-employment screening, they do like a blood work called Strong for Life, and they check my blood sugar, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" They're like, "Your blood sugar's 390 right now," and I'm like, "They're like, what'd you have for breakfast?" I'm like, "I don't know, like 2 bowls of cereal." And then they weighed me. I was like 21 pounds less, and I was like, "I don't know what the hell's going on." And then I got a glucometer and did like the 12-hour fast, and I was 271 for my 12-hour fast, and I was like, yeah, this is not good. And my wife, I didn't have insurance yet, so my wife's like, do you really need to go to the endocrinologist right now? And I'm like, yes, I do, because I need insulin and all that stuff. And
that's insane.
Yeah, so that's how I got diagnosed. Wow. It's crazy because even my parents were like, I felt like when you were like before you moved down south to Georgia, it looked like you're like really skinny and you were drinking a lot of water. So and I didn't put 2 and 2 together because we moved during the summertime, and it was like Georgia weather like is hot as hell in the summertime. So of course I'm drinking a lot of water, and of course I'm peeing a lot. So I never put 2 and 2 together until that pre-employment screening. So yeah. So
how did you feel? Like that's my question. Like when your blood sugar is 390, obviously we know being high does not feel great. So like, did you like notice like looking back any difference in like your mood or how you felt or how you operated?
Yeah, so working out wise, I got like really winded quick, but like I still can't tell if I'm high or not. Like I don't get the feelings of like headaches, or I just like pee a lot, but granted I drink a lot of water in general like throughout the whole day, so I can't really tell what I'm high, but I can tell I'm low with no problem. So it feels like I'm have like two drinks, a couple alcoholic beverages in my system, and feel like a little like hammered. But yeah, like I can't tell whatsoever. There was a couple times I've been up to like 600, and it was just like walking around like normal and being like, hey, what's up, guys? Nothing. So I can't. It's super weird. But when I did get diagnosed, I was I think it was like 11.5. And then, like, I was, like, having trouble breathing, working out, and so that's what kind of put 2 and 2 together, and I'd be drinking at night, like, 3 or 4 times at night, so, yeah, so that was
that's
how we
crazy.
got found out, yeah, so I know you're going to school right now, so you're going to be trying to be a diabetic educator, so how's the schoolwork going for that?
It's good. So I like anything like relating to my body or diabetes or health and like science in general, I freaking love it. Like I can't get enough of it. So like I'm in like organic chemistry right now, and everybody's like, "Oh, this sucks. This is so hard." I love it. Like it's so fascinating to me. So it's going. I've got 2 semesters left, and then I will be done. And then I'll probably hopefully work for a little bit and kind of figure out what exactly I want to do, because obviously I want to get my CDE, but a lot of different things that you can do with that. So I want to try to get that figured out before I go through my master's program and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, you got plenty of time.
I'm almost there.
Yeah, you got plenty of time. So how was being a diabetic through like high school and college like? Was it like a little bit different than middle school, or how did you manage that?
No. So once I got to high school, I kind of changed my mindset about diabetes, and I kind of forced myself to view it as just something that was part of me. And at first, it was really hard, and like I was very good at it. But I started like checking my blood sugar, like legitimately, giving myself shots. Actually, so in middle school, I was on a pump. It was called a Deltec Cosmo, and it was great. It was honestly still till this day one of my favorite pumps. But I
sorry, that was my little daughter.
no, you're good.
Jeez. Yeah. So awesome. Yeah. So go ahead.
So I switched off the pump because it gave me too much freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And I abused that freedom because I could just give myself random amounts of insulin and be like, oh, I'm good, I'm fine. So I switched off the pump, and I was on. I made sure to the best of my ability, check my blood sugar, and give myself insulin every time I needed it. And eventually I started kind of learning that I enjoyed telling people about diabetes. Mm-hmm. So like I would educate my friends, my teachers, basically anyone who would listen. And a lot of that comes from my parents because that's kind of what they grew up like teaching my classmates like in elementary school. And so I grew up kind of seeing that. Then I figured out I liked doing it. And so like I was doing better, I guess, taking care of myself. And a lot of that was because I wanted to excel in sports. Mm-hmm. So I grew up playing soccer, baseball, and I switched, I think it was like in 5th or 6th grade, to lacrosse. And so that became my new quote unquote love. So I played lacrosse from my 5th grade year to my sophomore year in college. And I wanted to be good at that because it's something that I really, really enjoyed. And the only way I could was by taking care of myself. Mm-hmm. And because, I mean, like when you're high, you're lethargic, you're just kind of like all over the place. And so I had to figure out how to manage my blood sugar during games because it's a contact sport, people are swinging metal sticks at you. And so I had to figure out like how to manage that, along with diabetes and like how to keep myself alive during the games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I did a lot of like research and experimenting, because that's what diabetes is, just a giant experiment.
Yeah, I'm a fellow lacrosse player too, so I know how like.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I've been playing for 22 years. Yeah, I still play. So I play like an old man's league. So I'm a lot older than you think I am. So, but yeah, so yeah, it's definitely like trying to figure out like, okay, what should you eat before working out? Oh, no, what should you eat before like playing, and how to manage that and all that stuff. So would you wearing like a CGM or the pump while you were playing at all, or how did that work?
Not in high school. The technology wasn't good enough when I was in high school. I don't think Dexcom was. They might have had like their very first sensor out, but I don't think it was anywhere near where it was today. Mm-hmm. Especially in high school, it would just be me. I so like I would have one designated sub, and if I top my helmet like that, he knew to come in, so I'd go into the box and he'd step in for a second, and I'd check my blood sugar and do whatever I needed to do, whether it was drink juice. I would never give myself insulin while playing because that adrenaline afterwards would just drop me.
Yeah.
And so it was really weird. I had to make sure that my coaches understood to the best of their ability. So that was really difficult until I got to college. College was different. I played at DBU. Actually, we're in the DBU lacrosse shirt right now.
Nice.
And I played there for 2 seasons, and I just got on the G4 when I started playing there, and one of the assistant coaches, he would like stand like on the edge of the field with like my the little glucose CGM monitor thing, and like just kind of like keep an eye on me to keep it in range because it didn't have great range back then. And then they would like call me off if I was going low or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So college is a different story. I mean, it's still challenging, but in a different way because it's a much higher competition level.
Yeah.
But I managed, my rate. I do so much when you're when you're playing.
Yep, definitely. I love that story. How the guy, your assistant coach, had the monitor like right next to the field, so he could check pretty much what your numbers were. So I thought that's pretty interesting.
It was great.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. So when you were in college, like what was like the workouts like for you when you were playing?
Careless.
Hey, so what was the yeah? So what were the I didn't really get it. So what was the workout programs that you guys did in college for lacrosse season?
Then I've always been active, but I never really was into weightlifting until probably my sophomore year of college. So my freshman year. There's a bunch of the seniors each had a workout group or a little brother group or whatever, and they would they would implement all of the workouts weekly. And so like we'd all go up to the rec center or the athletic center, and they would basically kick our asses until we couldn't go walk anymore. It was awful, but I think that's what kind of got me into lifting, because like in high school, I'd be one of the the average like teenage gym bro that would go in and like do curls and then leave, because I thought that was what I needed to do. Like I'd never hit legs. I had like tiny little scrawny chicken legs. Until I actually learned how to squat, like how important the legs are to like athletically, and just like in general, they're our foundation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think one of my favorite lifts is definitely squatting. So.
I mean, like a game of what that will do, and so I gave in, started squatting, and then I saw everything increase tenfold.
Yeah,
it was awesome. So now I hit legs twice a week, sometimes 3 if I'm feeling lucky.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Yeah. So have you noticed that like sometimes squatting actually helps out with your bench press, like gets your bench press stronger?
Yeah. It's that like, well, into your whatever you're lifting. It's great. Like I finally, right before all the Corona stuff happened, I finally hit a PR on bench that I hadn't been able to do in such a long time.
Nice.
And then now I'm afraid of going back, what it's going to be like. But.
So after college, actually during college now, since you were not playing lacrosse, and like, so what are your workouts typically like right now? Like before the coronavirus. So
pre-coronavirus. So I train 5 to 6 days a week if I can. And I have I guess it's a modified push-pull leg split. And so the first 3 days of the split are always heavy compound. So that's when I'll do my heavy squats, heavy bench press, and heavy deadlifts and stuff like that. So I'll finish with still compound, but less I guess taxing. And then the second 3 days, I'll do more volume. And so I'll try to just squeeze as much blood in the muscle as possible. And I've only been running that split for, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 months, but I gained like 3 or 4 pounds on it.
Nice.
Of I think it's muscle. I hope it's muscle. And so I saw a lot of good results from that so far.
Nice.
But that's, I think, hopefully what I'll try to go back to once I can actually work out again in the gym.
Yeah. So another one you should try out. I give this to my clients a lot. So you get on the leg extension and you do like 20 reps or enough to when it starts burning, and then you add another 20 reps onto that when it's burning even more. So you're doing like almost like 40 to 50 reps of doing the leg extension. So that definitely gets the quads just like super swollen, like with a lot of blood, and like you'll be super sore. Like I have my clients do 4 sets of that, and that definitely kills them for like the next day. So you should definitely give that a try.
What did you say?
So,
I never saw that.
Did you hear the section that I was so I have my clients do 4 sets of leg extensions, but they do it till they starts burning, and then they add another 20 reps onto that as well. So they're technically doing like 40 to 50 reps. So yeah, definitely a serious quad burns at the next day. You get some serious DOMs going.
Man, one of my favorite exercises that I most so long rest and one's on leg extensions. But the leg press, I'll put 4 or 5 plates on either side, and then I'll do 8 reps, and then someone will drop 1 plate off. 8 reps, drop another plate off. 8 reps, 8 reps, 8 reps until it's just the machine. Oh my god. That thing that is brutal.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of people. I've seen that bunch of people do that, and it's. I want no part of that. So. So
it's great.
Yeah,
I love it.
So now for during the coronavirus, what are you doing for your workouts now?
So I don't have a home gym or anything. So because I'm apparently not prepared enough. But I have one resistance band, and I think it's like 30 to 50 pounds. And so I'll use that and like straight up body weight. And I had to do a lot of research to figure out, like, because obviously everybody knows like body weight squats, push-ups, like lunges, but like at the end of the day, for me, that's too easy. I could do 10 rounds of those and be fine. And so I had, I'm currently in the process of teaching myself how to do like a freestanding pistol squat.
Okay.
Because I don't have the balance for that. But I like every morning I go and try to find something that is like super challenging and like that you don't see on like, because there are a lot of like workout programs that like go do like push-ups or like and then like close grip, diamond grip, whatever. And I'm trying to find things that are either much more terrible than that, or just like throw them together in a way that my body is just like destroyed afterwards. So like one of my leg days that I've been doing, actually, let me see if I can find it. It's awful.
Have you ever heard of Ryan Fisher at all?
I have not.
Oh, you gotta follow him. He has an Instagram account, and he does like a bodyweight workout for everyone since like with the coronavirus is going on. And I think he's got like the next week is free, so you should definitely. His workouts are super hard.
Yeah, like it's hard to find like workouts that challenge me. And so I think that'll be good. Where is it? Here it is. All right. So this one is like 20 jump squats, super simple. And then it goes into 8 pistol squats each leg, a wall sit with your calves or with your toes like pointed in 45 seconds. Because like wall sits aren't that hard. But then I tried like this variation. I died, man. And then you do lateral squats, like 15 reps each side, box jumps. I don't have a box, so I just use 2 chairs in the kitchen.
That works.
And then Bulgarian split squats, and then jumping like switch lunges.
Okay.
Or scissor lunges, where they call it for 40 seconds, and then I'm finally up to like 45 seconds without dying. But it's actually really, really hard, and I feel like I'm getting a pretty good workout out of it. Like my body, because I did CrossFit when I was like a freshman in high school, but my cardiovascular system is not what it was, because I got to go to the gym, lift heavy shit, put it back down, and then move on, you know? And so I wasn't challenging myself cardiovascularly. And now that I am, like, I feel like it's hopefully I'll come out of this quarantine in better shape than I came in. Because
Awesome.
it's just a different type of lift.
So what's been the problem with you with the pistol squats? Just like balance wise, or?
And like my knee wants to go over my toe whenever I drop down. Slip catcher for 5 or 6 years, and so like I'm pretty mobile in my hips and in my legs, but because of that, or I guess muscle memory, I want to drop like straight down rather than like leaning back, like sitting like on a chair like you're supposed to squat. And so I'm just having trouble like forcing myself to do that.
Have you ever tried putting like a book on your heel and squatting that way?
Like underneath it?
Yes. So I highly recommend doing that, because what I do is, if I have trouble, I used to be doing pretty good at pistols, but then my right knee started acting up. So what I do is I put like a 2.5 pound plate underneath my heel, which gives my heel a little bit more of an arch, so you could actually get into that bottom part of the pistol squat. So, and you could use like a book, or like I don't know, like a college book or something like that, or something thick enough that can handle the weight, and just squat down that way. And that's a good way of kind of teaching yourself how to do a pistol squat.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I used to like use like plates at the gym, and I'd finish off like my leg days with goblet squats with a plate underneath my heels, and just like burn out as many as I can. But I haven't actually thought about that. Doing that now. I've got books. I read. I can use those.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. So, how's the mental health game with being stuck in, kind of like, staying in the house with this coronavirus and everything?
I mean, I'll be honest. Like when we were all first like quarantined or whatever, I was like, this is great. This is gonna be awesome. It's going to be fun. I've got time to do all these things that I hadn't had time to do before. But now it's like, get me out of here. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm a very social person. And I love like hanging out with like friends and doing things. Luckily, I have 2 roommates, and they're some of my best friends. And so we all work together, and they're all very creative people. So we like keep ourselves entertained, whether that's by drinking beer or playing board games. Sometimes both. And one of them I work out with, or I try to work out with daily. And he grew up like been doing like body weight stuff for like past 2 years, and so he's good at what he does. And so if I need a suggestion for a workout or something, he is good at filling me in. But it's been like last week was great. I kind of gotten to routine, but this week has been like, do I have to? Like, I don't want to. Like,
yeah.
I've had like no motivation to do anything because I still like school, and I just did a lab this morning for OChem, and I had to force myself to like sit down and read and do everything that I needed to, and so like this week has just been hard. So I think taking it day by day, and being like, hey, it's okay if I don't do everything that I'm supposed to do. Has been helpful for me. Like, I've got a big whiteboard next to my desk, and like I've just been writing down like my daily tasks or my goals for that day. And so if I don't hit a goal, I mean, that's okay. Like, no one's gonna like, put me on a firing squad for it. You know, just work on it tomorrow, see if I can get better.
Yeah.
So it's been different, man. This is such a weird situation that I don't think really anybody has dealt with.
Yeah. I know, I'm in the same boat. Like, I'm great. I have my wife and my two kids. The one you just heard, she's 18 months, and I have a soon to be 5-year-old. So it's kind of like I have to work and try to get everything done, but yet I have to watch like both my kids at the same time, and then like I really can't leave, and it's just like all over the place. And I'm trying to get as much work as I can do, but you know, you got to watch the kids, and you know, your son's like, I want to go outside and play, or I want to play superheroes and stuff. And it's like super taxing. There's some days I just want to go for like a drive or something like that. Just let me just go. I don't care.
I'll just disconnect.
Yeah, just give me I'll go to Starbucks. I want a coffee. Just something. So, but yeah, it can be stressful, and it's stressful for my wife too, because
that's hard.
Yeah, it's stressful for my wife too, because
say that one more time.
Yeah, so she's working from home. Well, she works too, and so she has to watch the two kids while I'm upstairs in the like our bedroom, just like working. So
yeah, oh man, I can't even imagine. Like I work with kids for a living, or did work for kids with a living. Corona kind of put an end to that, and so I know how stressful that can be. Dang, man, props to you and your wife.
Yeah, well, props to my wife.
Keep it up.
Yeah, she's the one that's doing all the work. So, but so how did you get involved with the junior diabetes, the JDRF?
So when I started this account, I just kind of started posting like life diabetes and like my day at the gym, like whatever happened, I just kind of posted to see what happened. And eventually JDRF Dallas, that's where I'm based. They like, hey, like, would you come like be on? Because I found I was first getting a ton about exercise and fitness and diabetes and all that, and they're like, hey, would you come and do a fitness and nutrition panel with us? And so I was on there with Lauren Bongiorno. Who else was there? Gretchen, soccer type one happy on Instagram, and a few other people. And so that was like my introduction to the JDRF, like world participant in it.
Very cool.
I started to the walks, and now. But that, like, being on that panel was the big thing that kind of sparked, like, I like doing this. Like, I like talking about diabetes, so why not do it for other people's benefit? And so that kind of sparked my interest in public speaking and JDRF specifically. I was supposed to be at a few events, but they're all canceled, obviously.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it because I love talking to people and networking and socializing, especially with diabetes. It just makes everything so much easier. And it's really, really cool to meet so many different people who have so many different ways of management when it comes to diabetes. And it's really cool. I'm lucky to be able to go to events and talk to people about that kind of stuff.
Cool, very cool. So how many panels have you been on since starting out?
I think I've been on 9 or 10.
Okay. Because I remember the one that you did with Rob Howe about the social media panel.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was like last year or whatnot. So I think it was.
So that's recently. That's been my primary panel that I've been doing is diabetes and social media. It's fun, and it's usually always with Rob. He's in Dallas too, so I get to see him all the time. Not all the time. Probably not enough. But I don't tell Rob said that. I've been, for the most part, pretty good about, I don't know, social media is my thing now.
Yeah.
So that's what people want to know about.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed you've been killing it on Instagram. So how many followers do you have now?
I'm at 13.2 thousand. So 13,200 ish.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, it's crazy. I've been slacking recently. Like with the corona, I feel like I should be like posting more and doing more, but I'm just like, I don't want to take a picture.
Yeah. So are you mainly worried about like you don't think that since you're like during the lockdown, the quarantine, that like you don't think your content's gonna be good, or just don't feel like you just want to post anything?
I think it's been more of like, I feel like it's oversaturated, the world of social media, because everybody's posting because that's all they have to do right now, like entertain themselves. And so I don't know if what I have to say is going to be. I'm very authentic, and I want a message about something, you know. And so I don't want to just post BS and just be like, yeah, enjoy. I'd rather it be impactful in some way or another. And so in order to do that, I have to figure out something that is going to be meaningful. And I think I'm overanalyzing it. I think it's at the end of the day, my account is following my life with diabetes, and I have my journey to not dying with it, but living a happier life, I guess. And so I think I'm trying to, I want to start doing just like more like kind of like a daily vlog, I guess, of what I'm doing to keep myself entertained, whether that's working out or going on a walk or finding a dog on the side of the road to pet. Just something, you know?
Yeah. No, I can just make sure that dog doesn't have mange or anything like that. So
yeah, it's worth it. As long as it doesn't have corona, I'm good.
Yeah. So when did you notice how like when your social media started to like really pop and just explode with like more followers, like more comments and like all that stuff?
It started growing because I started in 2016. So. And about mid-2017, pretty good. And I at that time I figured out that's kind of like what not necessarily social media, but educating people about diabetes and just encouraging them and letting them know that, hey, you're not alone in this. That's what I want to do, and that's what I'm passionate about. And so probably I got lucky. Like once I hit like 500 followers, I consider that. And like once I hit that, I was like, yes, I made it. And now it's crazy to like look back at like some of my old posts and like, did I really do that? And just see how like, what's the word? How kind of began and embraced me. That was really cool to see. And now I've got 13,000 and counting, and there's like, what is this? But I'm very thankful to have all of it.
Yeah. I mean, I was following you. I think when you started tagging me on your post, I think you were at like 8,000 maybe, and then like within like a 2 seconds you're already at 13, just like that. So yeah, it's insane. So do you think those panels and like all that, like, you know, all the content you're putting out, do you think that really helped out with like people like finding out about you, or?
Yes and no. JDRF is not great about. It's not necessarily amazing promotion, but like it's not bad publicity, I guess. I did a lot of blogs and a lot of pieces and like growing up with diabetes, because I'm I guess an expert in that because I lived it.
Yeah.
And so I did a lot of small like pieces for a bunch of different accounts, and I think that's what grew me the most, because a lot of small accounts and having like my name, then a lot of people follow a lot of those small accounts, and I think that's what kind of got me the push to grow. Or I guess that's what grew me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was the reaching out to like the little guys, and obviously like if you can get like Beyond Type 1 or JDRF to post about you, like that's not like an everyday thing, and that's hard to do.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people who run that are my friends now, which is really cool. And like joining and going to like the conferences like that with T1D chick and push-ups and pumps. Like if you can like get into the community and just like know the right people and like just be nice and friendly, like you'll succeed.
Yeah. It just pays to be nice. So yeah, definitely. So how did you and Rob Howe meet?
He was actually at the very first JDRF Type 1 Nation Summit in Dallas that it was the nutrition one that I spoke at, fitness and nutrition. And I had followed him on social media. I actually like followed him and unfollowed him like 6 different times because I wanted him to follow me back.
Yeah.
And before this, and then I finally met him, and my first like thoughts on him was like, wow, he's so tall. He's like 6 million feet tall. So that was the first time we met and talked to him. And at the time, I was running a small marketing company with a buddy of mine, and so that was kind of like how we connected. I was like, so what do you do? He's like, oh, I run a marketing firm. I was like, oh, I kind of do too. And then from that point on, he's become a mentor and like a big brother to me. Mm-hmm. So I'm very thankful to have him in my life. And I text him all the time. Most of it's like super annoying, just like, hey, what are you doing? Just get a rise out of him. But he's helped me a lot navigating like the world of like social media and business and diabetes, because it's like, you know, when you grow up, no one teaches you how to file your taxes, you know?
No.
And then you have to do it, and you're just like, what do I do? And he's kind of helped me figure all that stuff out.
That's very cool. Yeah, that's very cool.
So,
yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah, when I got diagnosed, I really didn't have like anybody to like lean on to really, because like obviously like being getting so late, like I had a couple of like nurses that I've talked to that were diabetic specialists, but they weren't diabetics, and I didn't really know like other ones available, because I was just the only way I got into contact with like other diabetics was pretty much through social media, and like Rob Howe, like T1D Chick, and like a whole bunch of like other people. So, and I always tell people if they like I always mention, like when I was working at the ER when a kids got newly diagnosed, I always wrote down like people's like Instagram handles for the parents to look at. So, and obviously like I would put yours down, I would put like Rob Howe's and like a whole slew of other people that are like diabetics, and like I always tell them like they're more than welcome to like help you out, or if you have any questions or anything like that. Like I didn't even, like, the funny thing is like no one even told me about like the Lancet, like the numbers that you like turn it to like see what the pressure is. I thought that was how many times you use it, and so then like I went to 8 and I started pricking myself. But God, I was like, God, that's really that got deep. And so then I would throw it out and try it again and start back from 0. So it's like. And then finally, someone told me, like another diabetic, they're like, no, that's like the pressure of like what the Lance is gonna hit you with, and I'm like, oh, okay. And like no one told me about changing Lancets either, because I had no idea about that either. And like I literally went to CVS with the pharmacist, and we both tried to figure out like how it worked.
You're not alone in that.
Yeah, and it's like I always ask people. I even there's another girl, I forget her name, but I always had a question, like especially with her. She was like mainly the first person. She's from South Africa or something like that. I wish I remember her name, but like I always had questions with her. She was going to be a doctor, and I always had questions about diabetes, and she'd be like always like super quick to respond back and like answer my questions and stuff like that, which was like super helpful. So
yeah, it's really cool. And like when I first started, I was really closed-minded in my diabetes management. Like, this is the way to do it. Like no other way will work. And then I started meeting like Rob and all these people who did diabetes differently. And I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool thing. Like maybe I'll try it. I tried it and it worked wonders. Like much better than what I was doing at the time. And so it's really cool to be able to manage themselves. And obviously adopt that, but I would rather try something for myself and see how it works, and hopefully get a better result out of it.
Yeah. So what
it's cool to see that people.
Yeah. So what has been helpful for you to like kind of like get like a stable blood sugar, even though that's like super hard to get, but.
So I think for me, nutrition is always a big point. I try to eat as healthy as I can. Obviously, I'll have a burger and Chipotle every once in a while because they're good and I like food.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
I'm not going to restrict myself from having a cookie or ice cream because it's going to make my blood sugar high. I'll enjoy the sweeter things in life. But nutrition plays a big and things like give yourself insulin 15 minutes before you eat. That's huge. And then just exercising regularly has, I can tell, like, I went a week without exercising and my blood sugars are, and then I start exercising and it evens everything out. And it's especially like in stressful times like this, or like finals week or whatever it may be, exercise plays a tremendous role in keeping my blood sugar stable. That and drinking lots of water. Yeah.
I probably drink about like, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these like shaker bottle, like big ass shaker bottle glass, like a day, like no problem. So yeah.
I've got this thing. It's technically a growler. It's made for like alcohol, but I just fill it with 64 ounces of water. It's awesome.
Nice. So last question. So what do you want to tell what would you tell a new onset diabetic of like how life's going to be for them?
So my first thing is life doesn't change. Life isn't going to change. It may seem different and difficult, and probably because it is, but your hopes and your dreams and everything that you want to do, you can still achieve that. Don't let anybody tell you that because you have diabetes, you can't do anything. Diabetes isn't a roadblock. It's just a detour. You just have to figure out another way around it, another way to do something. Whether that's sports or school or academics, it's same thing with school, or owning your own business or running a ultra marathon. I know too many crazy people who do that with diabetes, and their blood sugars are like 120 the entire time, and I don't understand how they do it. But anything is in your reach, regardless of diabetes. You just have to, do a little extra in order to get there.
Mm-hmm. Very cool, very cool. And where can everyone meet you or find you on like social media, or if they have a question or whatnot?
Y'all can find me on Instagram predominantly, everyday _T1D. I'm also on Facebook, but no one really finds me on Facebook. And then I think I will be launching something else soon, so I'll make an announcement when that happens. But we'll see. Not TikTok. You can't find me there. Don't go on TikTok.
Yeah, awesome. Well,
I refuse.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for doing this podcast with me. I really do appreciate it. So,
of course, man. It was my pleasure.
Yeah, and hopefully the reception gets a little bit better next time if we do another one. So. All right. Well, that's the end of the podcast, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.